Okay, I am setting up my Facebook Live. I've got the Google Hangout going. I'm going to give everybody about a minute to jump on. Welcome, welcome. So we've got live going and the Google Hangout going. And hopefully you'll be able to catch us live, but if not, we are recording for those of you that work or that you're at parties. Hi, Heather. Hi, Sarai. Give everybody another 30 seconds and then we'll start. Hi, Susan. Hello. Hello. Hi. Oh, we need to post the Google Hangout link into the group, to the Facebook group, so you don't have it, and then email it. Hello, everyone. We're going to wait for some more viewers, and my assistant is posting now the link for the Google Hangout link in the Facebook group and emailing right now. Hi, Cindy. I can't believe that today is the last day of May. It's crazy how time is flying. Oh my goodness. Crazy, crazy. My kids are off of school. Are your kids off of school? Let me know when you send it. Is the link coming up or no? Yeah. We're just waiting until everybody has the link. That way it's fair for everybody. Did it post? While I'm on it, can you post it? Yeah? You can copy them. I don't know. Okay, so good? Because there's no viewers on it. So it doesn't show you. You can always post it afterwards too. Okay, you guys, well, we're just gonna get started. She is gonna post the link for the Google Hangout and email it in just a little bit, but I've got some of you Facebook Live and some of you will be watching this later on. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our June Boom Pace Setter. I'm excited about this because June has always been one of my favorite months because everything happens in June. Everybody goes above and beyond and does more. There's something about that final month, that final race, that final push. I don't know why as women we procrastinate, but we do. You know, what happens when we, have a trip going on? When do we pack? The night before. It's not always a good thing, but it's just what happens. And so, I think when we know it's down to the deadline and we know that our national areas or Mary Kay or ourselves have a huge final goal to finish for, we just throw our hearts over the line and we do the and then some. And my goal for you is that every single month in your Mary Kay business would look like June. That's the goal. I don't want you to just push and do everything in June. I want you to constantly work this way. However, if you've never felt what it feels like to really push, then this is the month to start. Like I said, I can't believe that it's already May 30th. I know many of you are finishing up huge deadlines today. Many of you committed to goals of hitting your career paths, or finishing your cars, or finishing certain production amounts to finish June 30th strong. So give today all that you have. And I wanted to do this Google Hangout though today to prepare for June, because many of you are already in preparation and have everything together. And some of you have never experienced a June, so you don't know what you're doing. But like I said, June is a different month. Everyone does more in June. There's something about the final month that everyone gives their best. And I want you to push more than you ever have before. I want you to push more than you've ever have before. Throw your heart over the line, okay? And I want to ask for your permission to really treat you like big girls, okay? I know we have independent beauty consultants watching, and we have directors. But I don't know about you. If I was a beauty consultant, I would want to be spoken to like a director. And so I'm really just going to speak to you as though you are becoming a director. You already are a director, and many of you are watching and you already are a director. But the point is, I just want to speak to you like heart to heart, just tell you what it's going to take to move to the next level, to become a director, but also to, if you are a director, to finish with a bang. So as long as I have your permission to treat you like big girls, okay? But when we do our best in June, it's going to help our company as a whole. It's going to help our company as a whole. As I said last month, we are all in, right? Are you really all in? What does that mean? That means that if you only have 4 hours to work your business, that you're all in for those 4 hours a week for your Mary Kay business. If you have 20 hours a week, you're all in for those 20 hours. If you are all in for 40 hours a week, then that's what you're doing. When you're with your kids, I want you to be all in for your kids. When you're doing your Mary Kay business, can turn on that volume. When you're in, doing your Mary Kay business, you're all in. Whatever you're doing, whether it's booking, coaching, meeting people, at a skincare party, you are to be all in and give your heart, blood, sweat, and tears to what you're doing. And you'll see massive results when you do that. It's when we're passive and we're lackadaisical that we really don't achieve everything that God created us to achieve, right? So it's going to help our company as a whole. It's going to help your national areas finish huge goals. As you guys know, everything counted in double in May. So everything you do today counts as double for your national area. It's going to help with your unit goals, and it's going to help most importantly with your personal goals, okay? So I want you to know that what you do now will either finish off something that you started and have been working on all year, or it's going to get you started on something big for next year. So your work will not go in vain. Your work will not go in vain. It will either show up that you finished something big because you've been consistent all year, or maybe you just started focusing in the beginning of the year or a few months ago and you're finishing up something, or it's going to get you started for something big in 2017, 2018. So I want to start off by giving you guys just a little bit of stories, because I think we relate to stories better. I want to talk to you about how I had courage in June and what that looked like. As you guys know, if you watched my last GoPro, you saw that in the beginning, I started off slow, and 8 months into the business, I made a decision and I went pro in my business. Well, I'm going to give you guys some courage stories that I had in June per year, okay? So as you guys know, I signed July 27th, 2001. It was too late to go to seminar. Actually, seminar was just happening. But my first seminar was seminar 2002, and I was a brand new sales director. And I listened to my director all year on how important it was to double court. And so I really focused on the national court of sales and the national court of sharing. And so that first seminar, 2002, I had my first national court of sales rings. I had a gorgeous amethyst ring, which matched my birthstone. And congratulations for some of you that are wrapping up that national court of sales, or some of you already have it done. Kudos to you, that's awesome, right? That means that you're reordering about $1,600 a month, give or take. And then I finished my B, because I knew that the key was the B, and that I needed to, Mary Kay said, to share with everyone, but that if I shared with 30 people a month, that I normally gold medaled, and then 2 to 3 would come in as a qualified. And so I had my B, and I was excited, and I went to seminar, and I walked across stage, and I'd never been to seminar, but I listened to everything my director told me that I should do, and I did it. I'm so glad that I did. And if it wasn't for me going to that seminar and sitting back in the cheap seats of seminar and watching that queen of sharing and really seeing that bigger vision for myself, I don't think I would have run as much as I did the next year. So that's where my vision was caught. Seminar 2002, did my national court of sales and sharing, just good standard director, okay? Then it was, so I set my sights on that next year being the queen of sharing, because I saw her being crowned. I saw her family up there. I said, I want to be up there. I was scared to death, but I wanted to be up there, and I knew I had a lot of work to do. So November of 2002, I went to my advance with my national in Las Vegas, and I made a decision that I would never settle in my business, that I was going to go pro in my business. And it was from that moment on that I literally threw my heart over the line. And we all know where we are when we make a decision, right? Maybe you've already made that decision in your Mary Kay business. Maybe you haven't. I made a decision right then and there that I was done with mediocrity. Done, done, done. I can't explain it. I was in the back of a room, a national was speaking, and I wrote on a sheet of paper that I would never drop below 20,000 wholesale in my entire Mary Kay business. Why? Why did that number mean so much? Well, as a director, you make a third of the wholesale production you make. So if I hit 20,000, I was gonna make at least 6,000 in commissions for my family, which to live in South Florida, you really need $70,000 to $100,000 just to survive. And so I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm hitting 20,000 every single month. And I was a director with about 60 unit members. And so I made that decision. I decided to hire help. So I never touched paperwork again. From November 2002, I've never touched paperwork. I always hired out an assistant. And so you might look at my life on Facebook and be like, oh my gosh, she does everything. She's like, whatever. No, I delegated out, right, Kendra?
Yeah.
I don't touch paperwork. She's doing everything. And I have another assistant too. And so I didn't have the money at 23 years old to do that. But you know what? You'll never make the money unless you delegate and get help. And so I hired out my weaknesses and I focused on my strengths. And that's with people and being in the field. And so I hired out help. I got help at least 15 hours a week. And then of course it grew from there. I never settled for 3 parties. I did 3 parties every single week, meaning that I booked 6 to hold 3. So by Friday at 5, I always had 6 parties for the next week to hold 3. And I did 3 events a week. So I did my Monday night meeting, my my Friday night models and marketing, and my Saturday muffins and makeovers. Those 3 events, my goal was to at least have 5 guests each event. 1 to 2 would join, along with having my key people there, and they would invite guests. And you want to talk about major momentum of having 3 parties and 3 events? I was adding new team members to my team. I was at least averaging, like 5 a week. So 5 times 4 is 20. So it was just major momentum and an explosion. And I never settled less than meeting 5 new people a day and getting 2 bookings. So those decisions that I made in November of 2002 propelled me to the success that I had day in, day out. I remember that decision I made, and I never went backwards. My fear was to go backwards. I didn't want to go backwards. And I knew it was hard work. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I also stopped caring what people thought about me, which is huge. Most successful people don't care what people think about them. And that's really hard, especially if you're young or you care what people think about you. So I did those things. How many of you did those things that I just shared with you? Okay, so that's what it's gonna take to do Big Girl Production, to become a director, to earn a Cadillac, to earn a unit club, to earn a trip, to become a national. Those were just the baby basic steps that I did. And some of you as a new consultant might be, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And some of you directors might have heard that before and been like, I haven't been willing to do that work. Well, you can't expect, trip production in a Cadillac without doing that type of work. And so, so that's what I did. And so after making that decision of 2002 to be the queen of sharing, and I wanted to be part of the $500,000 club, I wanted this ring. You see this ring, this half carat baguette ring? I wanted a ring. How many of you guys want a gorgeous diamond ring? And I wore this specifically to show you. And so every party I did, I blew this ring up on a laminated paper and I took it to every party and I'm like, your face is making a difference. This party is making a difference. Your face and you being a customer is helping me earn my dream ring, okay? You gotta let people in on your goal, okay? So I did that. So basically, by the end of that year, because of that commitment, we finished we finished as the Queen of Sharing and did $500,000. Okay, but remember, I was doing 3 events a week, 3 parties a week, wasn't touching paperwork, always booking 2 new bookings a day, always meeting 5 new people. I was working with the key. I mean, it was just a lot of momentum happening. However, in June, okay, I had a lot to do to finish, and this is where I want to explain to you, like it hurt my stomach. The goal was so big and I had to do so much production on the last day of the month. Like it didn't seem possible. Like I had to do like $27,000 in 24 hours, okay, of production. And so that's just such a big God-sized goal that you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way. Looking at it, you'd shut down and like rock yourself in a corner, right? But I knew that I set out to do it. I focused on it all year and I knew that I was going to do the work and God was going to show up. And you guys, I remember because being the Queen of Sharing is all about your commissions. It's not about how many you signed. It's about your commissions. Yes, to even go for it, you have to have 24 personal qualifieds, but it's really about your commissions that you make. So I knew since my senior was the queen, I asked her, well, what counts? And she's like, well, you really need to get over 10,000 in personal commissions at that point. Okay, that was over 10 years ago. And so now it's more, but so I really focused on it and I knew that my commissions had to be higher and I knew that meant I needed more personal recruits. So my goal was I really needed like an extra 9,000 on the last 24 hours of the month, which was 3 diamond store orders. I needed like 3 diamond store orders to really finish. And it was 24 hours before the end of the month. I was just working as hard as I could. My goal was to get as many new personal orders in and getting my new personals for the year reordering to get my commissions higher. And I was focused on it like a beast, okay? And I remember it was the last 24 hours and all my appointments had canceled. I had nothing more in the books. And that's where, you know, that's where the winners, you know, keep fighting. And so I just was like, I'm not stopping. Like I have to know that I gave it my complete all. And so I remember, this is how crazy it was. This, you want to talk about the courage card. I knew I needed like another 2 personals and I really had nobody to call. I didn't know who to call. So I literally took lip glosses and I put them in little bags. Kendra, my assistant's watching me. She's like,
I would think I would go knock on everybody's door.
No. So I put them in little sachet bags, like lip glosses, all the lip glosses I had, seriously. And I put business cards in there and I went to Target. And I was like, I'm just going on the baby aisle. I don't know why God told me to go to the baby aisle. So I went to the baby aisle and there was this woman there and she was looking and I was like, oh, well, do you have a baby gift? Or are you going to a baby shower? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, hi, what's your name? And she's like, Lily. And I said, oh, hey, Lily, I'm Daisha. Listen, I have a crazy question to ask you. Like, it's super crazy. I said, have you ever had a really big goal? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, listen, you don't understand. I know this sounds so wild, but I need to bar your face and I need to bar your face like by tomorrow. And this is the deal. I have a huge end of the year goal and your face would make the difference. If you commit to letting me see your face in the next 24 hours, you get to pick any of these lip glosses like right now. And if you take it, I'm going to believe and I'm going to believe that your word is your bond, that you will let me bar your face. And she's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So I'm like, okay, so tomorrow morning, she's like, yeah. So I gave her lip gloss. I met her the next morning. I did her facial and she bought like, I think it was like $100. But then I shared the opportunity like I always do. Well, she ended up signing. Okay, great. But I've got 24 hours till the production needs to be in, okay? So I'm like, okay, well, and I knew that sometimes maybe a husband would be an issue. And I'm like, well, tonight, can I meet with you and your husband? And she's like, yeah. Okay, so I sat down with her and her husband and I explained all the inventory choices. And I really knew that I probably needed a 2,400 or a 3,000 to go in. But again, I didn't want to be pushy, but at the same time, I knew she needed it. It's a real business. And it was just a lot of nervousness. A lot was counting on this order. And so I gave the best inventory talk of my life. I was so passionate. I was into all the packages. I was talking about how it would benefit her and all the bonuses that she would get. And at the end, she's like, well, I want to do the Ruby Star package. I want to do the 2,400. And her husband said, yeah, I think we'll go with the 2,400. I said, great. So how do you want to take care of that? And he's like, no, we'll get back to you in the next 3 days. Like, we really have to like move around some things. My assistant's eyes are like wide. We have to move around some things. And I was like, I literally like went like this, and I'm like tears started welling up in my eyes. And I literally looked at him and I said, sir, have you ever had a really big goal? Have you ever had a really big goal? I said, you don't understand. I have the biggest goal about to happen in the next 24 hours. And if you were going to do this order anyway, if you knew how much your wife's order would make a difference in my dreams and my life, I can't even explain to you. First of all, she needs it. She needs it to be successful. But second of all, like, it would make the difference in me completing my goal of being the queen of sharing. And you don't know, and I was crying. Okay. Like, this is how you got to let your pride go, dadgummit. Okay. This is the type of fight I'm talking about. It's not easy. Okay. But I'm thinking about everybody I told the goal to. I've worked my bottom off. I'm not going to let up right now. Okay. And so I just was like, it would make all the difference in the world. You don't understand. Do you think you could pull it together tonight? I know that you're a find a way, make a way person. Could you please? And he got it together. And I got the order in. And it made all the difference in me moving from number 2 to number 1. I continued working. I continued to work with my personals for their reorders to boost up my commissions. I mean, I remember as I was driving around, even a bumblebee got stuck in my car in Coral Gables, like a little bumblebee. It was like God saying, okay, keep pushing, keep going, you know? It got locked in my car. So that's the type of push I'm talking about. You think it was comfortable to put all those lipsticks and sachets and walk into Target? Do you think it was comfortable to throw my heart on the line when I was explaining those inventory choices? And I didn't want to be pushy. I cared what people thought about me. I was 23 years old. I didn't want to seem pushy. I wanted to work with his wife. I wanted her to move up. But if I wouldn't have let him in on my goal, if I wasn't transparent, if I wasn't authentic, he wouldn't have understood. And that's what I'm trying to share with you guys. Get out of your comfort zone. You got to push. You got to get uncomfortable. You got to talk to that person that God's telling you to talk to, or that's on your heart or mind. You got to pick up that phone. You got to go warm chatter that person. You got to ask, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know. So we finished up as the queen of sharing. We finished up $500,000. It was such a good feeling. I got my ring. I had so much momentum. Lily even went to seminar, dadgummit. Yeah, not only did she place a $2,400 order, she went to seminar. And she was, yeah, she saw my dream. She was bought in. She was bought in. And so then I went there, and then of course we go to seminar, and what? We set a new dream. We set a new dream, and my new dream was to become $1 million sales director. And it was so big, and it hurt my stomach. I was like, ugh, but I knew God had placed it in my heart. So again, kept up with those 3 events a week, kept up with the 3 personal parties, shared with everyone, didn't touch paperwork, continued to call 10 people a day to get 2 bookings, continued to meet 5 new people a day, continued to work with my key people, and it was just momentum. It was building, 20, 30 new consultants a month, 10 to 15 red jackets, just bam, just happening, okay? And I just worked it like a real job. And so we were focused on the million. And also I was running to be in the top 3 of National Port of Sharing, because that was important to me, and I knew I'd already done it. But now, after I had become the queen, now my Offspring National had caught the dream, Ari, who said, now I want to be the queen. So after I was able to be the queen, I was able to transfer and pass on the knowledge that I had learned to get there and say, Ari, now you can do it. And there was no better feeling than 2004 being the runner-up to my Offspring first line, to her being the queen of sharing. Oh, amazing, amazing moment in time. And so doing million was a whole nother can of worms. I'd never done it. I had never had any business experience. I was completely shy, but I knew God had placed it on my heart. And so it was a lot of getting out of my comfort zone. It was a lot of missing parties. It was a lot of missing events. It was a lot of going to a second and third party when I didn't feel like going. It was a lot of continue sharing even when you have a migraine headache. It was a lot of getting out of my comfort zone, getting uncomfortable. You will never go anywhere great unless you get out of your comfort zone, unless you are pushed to the next level. And that's how you grow, right? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But it was June, okay? And again, we needed more production. We needed like $63,000 in June, which, I mean, I had built up a lot of momentum and I knew we were gonna do it, but it was still a big number. 67,000 wholesale was just like a big God-sized goal. And so I remember we needed a little bit more in production. And I mean, just crazy stuff was happening. Crazy stuff was happening and everybody knew my goal. I remember I had a red jacket that said, oh my gosh, there's this girl in the hospital that just had stomach surgery and she's absolutely gorgeous, Stacia, and you've got to go to the hospital because she wants to do Mary Kay. I'm not even kidding. I remember walking through South Miami Hospital with a starter kit in the last week of June, carrying it into this woman's room. She was connected to an IV. I'm not even kidding you. This is like God's stories. I open up, she looks flawless. Like I'm telling you, like a Barbie doll connected to an IV. Her husband was actually a foot surgeon and she had a lot of stomach issues, and my red jacket was like, this woman wants a side and she wants to do an order. And I'm like, what? I'm like, so I'm carrying the starter kit in. I'm signing this girl connected to an IV and I'm like, are you sure we can wait till next week? Like when you go, no, I want to do this now. I did new consultant training with her, got her order in, her Diamond Star order, okay, in a hospital bed, okay? Now I'm not saying to push to that level to have someone do that. She wanted to do it. At that point, I'm like, no, you really need to get better. We'll do this next week. She was like, no, I need to do something positive. I want to do this. Tell me now. I mean, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. She came in as a Diamond Star. She made a huge difference in the end of our $1 million year. Again, getting out of your comfort zone, pushing. That next year, my goal was to do $1 million again in 2004 and to go national. And we had finished that $1 million year being runner-up of the Queen of Sharing, number 2 of the Emerald Division, finishing $1 million. And then my goal, we had 6 first line and 2 second line. So I knew I had to go to 18 to be a national at that point. So I thought if I just do it one more time, I'm gonna be there. And so I was like, okay, I just gotta run one more year the same way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that second $1 million year was actually easier than the first because I knew what to do to get there. I knew what to do to get there. It was like, honestly, that wasn't the issue. I was like, I got this. I got $1 million. I've already done it. I can do it again. And when you've got enough unit members, it's possible. Doing $1 million is possible. It's just numbers. This whole business is numbers. When you have over 200 unit members, $1 million's possible. It's all in your numbers. And so we had over 200 starting August. So it was like smooth sailing. The thing was developing leaders. And of course, my timeline wasn't always someone else's timeline. And creating a national area is a God thing. You know, it really is. You can become a director. You can earn a Cadillac. You can become, you can do $1 million. But becoming a national is a God thing. It's not something you can say, oh, I'm going to do it at this time in this month. No, it's not going to happen. You're going to do the work and you're going to prove it. And God's going to bless it to you when you're ready for it and you're ready to receive and to lead the area. For some people, it might be 2 years. For some people, it might be 4 years. For some people, it's 6, 8, 10, 12, 40 years. I don't know. I can't tell you. I know that every national story is different. But I do know it's normally 18 months for making a decision. If you're willing to bust your tail and throw your heart over the line and get uncomfortable like I was just talking about, which most people are not willing to work that hard. So, I mean, the people at the top, the people achieving these large unit clubs, directors, working to national, they're doing more. I mean, they're working this like a real job and they're getting uncomfortable. So that's why I want you to start getting uncomfortable in June and doing big things that get you out of your comfort zone so you believe you can do more, because you can. You need to prove it to yourself, okay? So I remember it was June of 2004. I only needed I needed 1 more first line and 2 more second line to go national. And I had a meeting in my house and I had brought all of my directors and they all brought 3 of their key people there. And we had like a come to Jesus meeting, like, this is what it's gonna take to go national. We're looking for 3 people to step up that wanna do it in a month. And I had 3 people come forward. I had Leanne David, who was my first line, who had worked with PricewaterhouseCoopers, that was stressed out being an accountant. And I wanted her to be a director for so long, but she just wasn't ready. And so she walked up to me that night and was like, I'm done doing it, done, okay? And I knew that once she made up her mind, she would do it. Then I had Tanya King, who was literally that night as a new consultant, who had no idea how to put on makeup, had no idea how to work her business. She was a nurse with twins, crazy life, okay, said, I'm doing it. And then I had Adriana Fahet, who was a teacher, flawless skin, knew all about cosmetics, and knew people and had massive people skills. Those 3 people all came up to me and said, we'll do it. So I worked really hard with those people. We all just loved on those 3. We worked hard. We were like there, okay? June 7th, okay, I'm in the parking lot of Publix, okay? Everything's set up. We're finishing million. We're finishing number 1. We've got all the directors in place. We're ready. I'm clear, okay? I get a call from my mom that my grandfather has fallen through the skylight of our packing house, and he has been airlifted to Jackson Memorial Hospital, okay? And I'm just bawling, okay? Absolutely bawling. I could care less about national. I could care less about anything, a ring. I don't care about anything. I rush home. I get on my knees. I'm praying, dear Jesus, please save my grandfather. You know, just everything. Within 30 minutes, he passes away. And I literally could care less about my goal, projection, cars, now everything. I could care less. And that honestly is what matters, right? It's God, family, career. So why I'm telling you this is I had worked my fanny off for 3.5 years. So guess what? It didn't matter that in that moment, I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to go be with my grandma. I'm going to go be with my parents. I'm going to go eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them and grieve like a normal person would. And you know what? Because I'd worked so disciplined for so long, because I had taught them what to do, when I stepped back, my people stepped up. And that's what leadership is. When you show people what to do and you show them, you know, they trust you and they know who you are. It didn't matter that I was there calling them or working in the field. No, I stepped back for my priorities, to put God first, my family second, and career third, to be with my morning family, to be with my morning self, and to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. And for 2 weeks, I did that. And it was a crucial time of my Mary Kay business. And you know what? God showed up. All those 3 directors finished. We finished as number 1 of Emeralds. Everything came together. We had our largest month ever of like 67,000 wholesale. I was where I needed to be. And when you commit to your business and when you're where you need to be, when times like that happen, people show up. Your area shows up. And God was teaching me that I had to step back for my area to step up, that I couldn't control everything, you guys. So as you guys can see, I showed a lot of stepping out of my comfort zone. I showed a lot of courage. And that's what it's going to take to do big girl things in this business, to finish your cars, to finish your Cadillac, to become a director, to become an executive, to finish the Alaska trip, to become an elite, to finish 20 sales directors, to do big things. It's going to take you stepping out. It's going to take you getting way out of your comfort zone. Okay, you guys? So things are going to happen. Obstacles are going to come. How are you going to go around, through, and above and push on? How are you going to go above, through, and around and push on? Okay? You will either finish something big in June or you are going to start something great. So your work will not go in vain, okay? You're either going to finish something big or you're going to start something great. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? So I'm going to give you guys 10 things that I want you to do in June to have your best June ever or start something big for next year. And the first thing I want you to do is ask yourself, what will your win be? What will your win be? Okay? Not what someone else is doing. What is in your heart? In your heart. What do you want to do? You can achieve anything your heart desires. You know that, right? You can achieve anything that your heart desires. Okay? God has equipped you with greatness and you can do it. You can finish a unit club, even if you're 100,000 away. You can finish a trip. You can finish million. You can literally go in with 10 recruits this month and have 14 more recruits in 1 month. You can finish your Cadillac, even if you need 30, 40, 50,000. You can finish your Equinox if you need 10, 20, 30,000. You can finish your car in 1 month if you really wanted to with 14 recruits and 20,000. You can finish the national court of sales if you have 5,000 left retail and a $2,500 wholesale order. You can do that. You can do that. You know, you can finish having 12 personal qualifieds with your B if you wanted to. Yeah, if you're willing to see 100 faces, yeah, you absolutely can. You can finish up double courting. You can go to seminar with a new DIQ because you promised yourself you would. You can finally complete 10 parties. Maybe you've never completed 10 parties in a month, and what is considered a party? Well, in my world, that is 2 women over 21 with a hostess. So it's a hostess and 2 women with her over 21 preferably, okay? That is a party. So having 10 of those, maybe finishing your first 30 faces, or maybe you have 75 customers and you're gonna push to finishing the year with 100. You guys, everybody is at different levels. Everybody's gonna have a different stretch. But I want you to write down, what is it? What is your win? What will you throw your heart over the line in June? What is it specifically? Write it down right now. Write it down right now. What is it? What is it? Write it down. Okay, second question is, what could you do this month to make that a reality? You need to answer your own questions. You need to have a chat with yourself because you do have all the answers. You know that, right? What could you do this month to make that a reality? So if you know that you need 10 recruits to go into DIQ, then you know you need to have 10 parties. So if you're gonna have 10 parties, that means you have to have 20 booked, right? There's your answer, right? Or maybe you need 50,000 in production to finish the trip. And so you've got to put your key people into teams and break down the production and put together prizes, but also figure out the personal activity that you're gonna do, that you're gonna be committed to, and then what the teams are gonna be committed to, and break it down and figure out the amount of events that are gonna support the amount of people that it's gonna give you that production. And so you have the answers. The other question that I want you to answer is, what could hold you back? What could hold you back? Okay, it could be, my kids are off for the summer. Okay, stop. There's camps available. There's care.com available. There's referrals at church. Stop letting that be your excuse and make it your reason. Doesn't mean you can't have a family night. Doesn't mean you can't be with them to eat at dinner. It's called boundaries and priorities, okay? I have a date night every week. I have a night out with my kids every night. I have dinner with them every night. You can arrange your day in a way that you can still go pro and work hard and accomplish your goals, but still be with them, okay? But this is what happens. You set a big goal and you have all the activity put together, but yet you forgot to put the systems in place for your children or grandkids, or all the office work, or all the food, that maybe all the food that needs preparation for your husband that demands dinner, or the kids. So figure out what could hold you back and how you could be proactive with that. The other question is, what activity could you put in place to make that dream a reality? What activity could you put in place to make that dream a reality? And the last question is, what 5 wins could you have daily to make this a reality? What 5 wins could you have daily to make this a reality? So again, we're doing more, right? So maybe you call 10 people a day, you're now gonna call 20, or maybe you normally meet 5 people a day, but you're gonna meet 10. Or maybe you normally do 3 parties a week, but now you're gonna do 6. So how do you have that put in place? So figure out the 5 wins that you're gonna do daily to get you that activity, okay? You are equipped with the answers, you guys. So number 1 was, what will your win be and how will you commit to it? Number 2, double the activity. Double the activity. That in June, we got to double everything. Double everything. So if you normally do 30 faces, we're doing 60. You normally do 10 parties, we're doing 20. You normally call 10 people to get 2 bookings, we're calling 20 to get 4. You normally get 5 leads a day, we're doing 10, okay? You normally see 30 faces, we're seeing 60, okay? Everything is doubled. You want to know how momentum is created? It's by doing a lot of activity in a short period of time. If you want momentum, you have to do a lot of activity in a short period of time. You want to lose 5-10 pounds? Well, you better work out 3-5 times a week, and you better cut out sugars and carbs and carbonated drinks. Like, you can't have one thing without the other, okay? It just doesn't work. So, what type of activity are you going to double this month? Number 3, your communication has to be big in June. Your communication has to be big in June. I'm going to talk to directors for a second. Do you have your prizes put together? You want to have prizes for 225 reorder, 450, 600 is already taken care of because that's Embrace Your Dreams. 800 and 1,000. You better have that flyer all put together by tonight, okay? A flyer for reorders for 225, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000. Give everybody a place to win. You gotta prize it up this month. You gotta have a lot more going out, okay? Give everybody a place to win, or maybe you have a cute purse or something for every reorder, for every party that a consultant does in your unit, or for every qualified they bring in. Have a point system where they go in for a certain amount of times, like maybe for every 225 they go in, you know, a ticket gets put in for a Kate Spade purse or a Michael Kors something or Kendra Scott earrings, something with prizes to get people excited. You know, so give everybody a place to win. Your communication has to be big. You should be having a proclamation to your unit. I don't care if you have a unit size of 24 or 500, okay? You wanna have a proclamation to your unit, whether it's a Zoom or Google Hangout saying, tonight you should be having it, okay? Because tomorrow's June 1, right? So this is what the goal is. This is the activity level. These are the prizes put in place. This is where we're heading. This is what we need as a unit. You know, and with your prizes, please don't prize yourself out to where you don't make any money. You shouldn't be spending over 5% of your commission. Note to self. Remember, I'm talking to you like big girls. Okay. When I was a top director, my June looked like this. And some of this might, you know, you might be doing a little later than normal, but the last week of May, I would always get fluorescent sheets of paper in yellow, hot pink, lime green, and I would order lookbooks for my entire unit. It's not too late. You can do it today. You can order lookbooks today. I used to order lookbooks for my entire unit and then would have a letter to my unit of our goal, why it was our goal, maybe a Bible verse that was attached to the goal, and the prizes. And it was inserted inside the lookbook. And so everybody got mailed that on June 1. So guess what? That was great when I was calling or my assistant was calling for those that were inactive, or maybe A3, or maybe there was a consultant that only ordered once or twice a year and she got that lookbook and she's like, oh my gosh, it's June. My order would really help this month. So again, it's just more communication, more activity going out. So it's not too late. You could order those 24 or 50 or 100 lookbooks now and put your prizes and, you know, your letter to your unit and get that in there and put them in my girlfriend's house bags and have your assistant or your daughter or somebody do them and get them out ASAP. So the communication has to be big. So doing the Google Hangout or Zoom, letting everybody know what the goal is. Sending out that fluorescent sheet of paper inside the lookbook of what is expected and what's going down. The newsletter, okay? In there, just heartfelt, pouring out your heart letter of your emotional why. Connect to them. Tell them about your mission, what's happening, okay? And the goals and the prizes. You know, the Google Hangout weekly, just connecting with, okay, and giving shout outs of who's done what weekly. Like keep track of $100 days. You know, $100 days are big. If you haven't had, you know, recognition of $100 days, go back and do that. That could also go into the drawing for the purse with the Kendra Scott earrings, you know. For every $100 day, if they had a $300 day, they go in 3 times. You know, really recognizing that. You know, who's had parties this week? Who's brought in new consultants? Who's done interviews? Who's earned Embrace Your Dreams? Who already has put in their 225, 400, 600, 800,000? Constant recognition, major accountability throughout the month. And then a party. Like when we finish the trip, we are going to have this Alaskan fun barbecue. You know, when we finish our Cadillac, we are going to do this. When we finish our Equinox, we're going to have this pizza party. You know, have them play a part. Let them be a part of it. And then if you're a consultant and you're not a unit, you don't have a unit yet, remember I'm talking to you like big girls. You can let your customers know what your goal is. Maybe you're at 75 customers and you want to be at 100. And you want to let them in on your goal and say, hey, you know, if you have 5, you know, if you send me 5 referrals this month, you know, I'll give you half off of your eye makeup removers. Or put together a cute video each and every week of a new product and send it out to your customers. You know, maybe on the charcoal mask, what it does, like maybe a minute of putting it on and talking about what it does and talking about your goal and how, you know, it makes such an impact if they got one. You know, if you could get 50 of your customers ordering one, oh my gosh, that'd make a huge difference. And then maybe doing the next week, You could do a video on our eye products, our eye makeup remover, or curling your lashes, or lash primer with our mascaras. Every week doing something big that gets your customers excited. Bring a lookbook with receipts to every single customer and say, I need your help. We're finishing June. I have a huge goal to hit 5,000 in sales this month, which would be a $2,500 reorder and $2,500 in your pocket. Give every customer a stack of lookbooks with receipts and tell her, for every $100 you sell, I'll give you, 20% off or whatever. Just think of something creative. But again, we're doing more. There's more communication. There's more going out. Don't keep things a secret. Don't keep things a secret. Let your customers in. Let your unit in, and knowing what you're doing. Number 4, there should be a little fear attached to your goal. There should be a little fear attached to your goal. There's going to be butterflies. There's going to be that anxiousness. That's good though, because if you don't have that, that means your goal isn't big enough. It means your goal isn't big enough. You can train your brain to think bigger. You can train your brain to think bigger. You can build a bigger brain by thinking bigger, by having bigger goals, by stepping outside your comfort zone. And so you can actually teach yourself to think bigger. So maybe your normal is 10,000 in wholesale as a director, but in June you're going to do 40 or 50. You're going to expand your brain. Or maybe you're normally used to doing 30 faces, but you're going to do 60, and that's just such a big goal, and that makes you so uncomfortable. Good. I want it to be uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. So write down what your goal is, and if it's still comfortable, I want you to stretch it a little bit. If it's uncomfortable, that's good, because doing the uncomfortable will grow you. Doing the uncomfortable will grow you. Okay? When you give yourself big goals, it stretches your brain. It stretches your brain. So how can you stretch yourself today? Number 5, I want you to brand your goal. Brand your goal. Mission million, cruise to 50, fabulous 50s, mission to 100 customers, charcoal 100, Cadillac cuties, accelerate to Equinox. You got to brand your month, and break a record for yourself. Figure out what you can break. Figure out a record you can break. So ask your director, what's the most agreements that have ever come in a month, and you break it. Or what's a normal amount of faces? I'm going to do the most out of our entire area. Or maybe you're going to sell the most charcoal masks of everybody in your entire area. Find one singular focus and hound into it, Number 6, recognize everything. Ordering, sharing, recruiting, earning prizes, showing up, inspiration. Recognize every little thing, directors, every little thing. Number 7, do the income producing activity. Do the income producing activity. Your only focus in June when you're doing Mary Kay is seeing the faces, doing the parties, doing the interviews by yourself or with your director or over the phone, following up with customers, maybe sending a video of the business and following up with a customer for coffee finally because she's been on your heart. You've been too nervous to actually interview her. Warm chatter. You guys have a story about this actually, you guys. So I don't normally prejudge, but I actually did somebody yesterday. I just signed a new personal, Susie. She's super cute. Some of you follow me on Facebook or Snapchat, so you might have seen her. So yesterday I did a makeover on my dining room table, and my daughter was right there. You could do this with them. She was doing the facial with her. And you guys, I totally prejudged Susie. I did. Susie lives in a $3 million home in Pinecrest. Her husband's one of the top physical therapists here in Miami. And we're sitting over the weekend in Vero Beach for a baseball tournament. And her husband starts asking me questions about Mary Kay. And he's like, well, sign her up. What are you doing? Talk to my wife. And I was like, how could I have not thought of Susie? So I was like, well, Susie. So she's like, yeah, tell me your story. So I told her a little bit. And I said, well, are you free on Tuesday? So she came over. I did her facial. I shared with everything. And she signed right then and there. And you guys, she doesn't need the money, but she wants something for herself. There's so many women out there that are yearning. They're looking for something. She's 33. She has 2 kids. She has everything she needs financially, but she's missing something for herself. And you guys, I overlooked it. Don't prejudge. Even me, I overlooked some things too. But you know what? Once I knew, okay, wait, I could miss out on this opportunity, I made sure I met up with her ASAP and I shared with her the opportunity. And we're doing her training tomorrow. So I'm super excited about Susie. So moral of the story, focus on the activity. Focus on the warm chatter. Pass out those little charcoal samples. They're so awesome. Everybody wants one. When I posted on Facebook, hey, I'm sending out samples. Who wants one? They all want one, and it's an icebreaker. When you're talking to somebody, so it's so good. Working wedding brides faces, marketing with them. You can even set up fun groups in your home in June. You could do beach makeovers or summer looks where every person you warm chatter for the week or every referral that you get, you invite them to every Thursday night or every Friday morning or every Friday night or every Saturday morning to a summer look or beach makeover at your house where you always have the table set up and you invite guests and your key people invite guests and you do it 4 to 8 times during June, and you add new customers and you sell and you add new consultants to your team. And so you could do tuck me into bed parties and focus on the charcoal, but do something, and it's got to excite you. It's got to excite you. If it excites you, it'll get other people excited. Consultants, you can promote a product a week and you can do a video on it. You could do the charcoal mask before you go to bed and you can talk about how it feels and what it does and then send it to your customers. So doing a video a week talking about that, following up with your A3s, your I1s, your I3s, your inactives, follow up. A lot of people want to help. Reach out to your husband's coworkers, neighbors, people at church, the moms now that have their kids off and just say, hey, come on over, let's do a fun summer look. I'm in a huge challenge. You can bring over Susie Q. They can watch a movie while we do a fun makeover. You don't have to buy anything. I just need your help. I have a huge goal. So women will help. You just have to open up your mouth. Number 8, grow your courage muscle in June. Grow your courage muscle in June. Okay, when you don't use it, it will stop working. Do what you've never done before. The Latin word of cur with encourage means heart. The Latin word of cur, pulled apart from courage, means heart. Courage comes when you step outside your comfort zone. When you share with your heart, you have to be courageous enough to share it, even when it's not perfect, even when it's fearful. And that's the hard part, is having courage to do that facial, to do that party with those women that intimidate you, to call that woman that intimidates you. It takes courage, right? Courage is a choice. Courage is a choice. Darren Hardy says courage is part of the #1 cardinal values. And how do you become more courageous? There's 4 steps to becoming more courageous. Number 1, you have to look foolish. Don't care what people think about you. People don't want perfect. They want authenticity. People don't want perfect. They want authenticity. Are you being authentic? Just be yourself. That's what people are going to love. Number 2, be a legend in your own mind. Be a legend in your own mind. Have that godly confidence. Picture yourself as though it's already done, as though you've already seen your Cadillac done, as though you've already walked across stage as a unit club, as you've already walked across stage with having your unit number or as a DIQ. So picture yourself already having it done. Number 3, stop thinking and just act. Stop thinking and just act. Courage takes 20 seconds. Courage only takes 20 seconds, right? It's that to go talk to that woman to warm chatter. It's that picking up the phone, that heavy phone to call that person, or texting that person that you've been thinking of, or picking up the phone or texting someone to meet you at Starbucks, and that courage to walk in. It's that first 20 seconds, and you sit down and you start talking, you start asking questions, and it's like, okay, it really only takes 20 seconds of courage, right? And the more you do it, the better. Number 4, attack it. Just do it. That's the only way you get better, is by doing the things that fear you the most. I told you guys, sharing the opportunity was my biggest fear. I could book people, I could coach people, I could do parties. I was so scared to interview people. But until I faced my fear and I did it, I knew I was not going to be a sales director. I was not going to be driving a Cadillac. I was not going to be making over $10,000 a month. I wasn't, until I attacked it, until I attacked my fear. Number 9, stay connected with your leader. Stay connected with your leader. She has your best interest at hand. Are you communicating with your national? Are you communicating with your senior? Some of you, your recruiter's no longer there, your senior's no longer there. She decided to do something else, but that's okay. That doesn't determine your future, okay? But if you have a national, you need to Voxer that national. If you don't have a national, connect with a national that you connect with and share with her your goal and ask her to pray for you and to hold you accountable. You know, what can you do to stay in the zone? Do your miracle morning every single morning. Don't let up. Pray. Circle your goal. Repeat your affirmation. Have your positive self-talk. Read 10 pages in your leadership book. Read a chapter in Proverbs a day. That will definitely gain your courage in working on being a Proverbs 31 woman. Read a chapter in Proverbs a day. What a great way. If you don't know how to read the Bible, just start reading Proverbs. And it's really easy and it's really encouraging. Write out your day, minute to minute, every single day. Be proactive and not reactive. You know, I was coaching a director yesterday and I said, what would happen if for 4 hours you never took an incoming call and all you did was outgoing, outgoing, outgoing? Can you imagine the type of productivity you would have if everything was outgoing and not incoming? Can you imagine? I want to challenge you guys every day that in your day, whether you're going to a facial, an interview, coaching, booking, warm chattering, an event, party, that you are literally doing outgoing, no incoming. And then of course there's that time at lunch or some downtime that you're responding back to things. But again, you'll get so much more done if you're doing outgoing instead of incoming. Voxer your leader daily. Tell her what you're doing to hold yourself accountable. Voxer her when you're discouraged. Don't talk to everyone else. Don't talk to anybody negative. Tell her what you're going to do and what you've already accomplished. And in your car, make it like Mary Kay University. I want you, if you have SXM radio, I want you to listen to The Message. The Message is a Christian channel that is super positive that I want you to listen to, because when people are driving bad, or you're in a fight with your husband or your boyfriend, or your kids are driving you crazy in the summer, or things are just crumbling down around you, if you listen to The Message, it will be a lot more positive and easier to get through the day. Putting in positive Mary Kay CDs of Nationals podcasts. Just constantly your car needs to have those positive things going on. Staying accountable. When something cancels, replace it with an income producing activity. Let's say you're all dressed up and you're going to a party and it's 6 o'clock and you're heading to your party and you're so excited. And she just texts you that her baby's sick, you know, and she can't do it. I don't want you to throw in the towel and go home and watch TV. I want you to go to a Starbucks or park yourself in your car in front of your house, and I want you to make 2 hours of booking calls or coaching calls or calling those key people or calling those new consultants that you haven't followed up with, or call those 20 customers that you haven't followed up with in months. Do not throw in the towel and cry and throw your sob story. Get over it and move on and replace it with another income producing activity. And rebook her and say, you know what, I hope your child feels better. No big deal. I have many people that want my services and we'll just book it next week. No big deal. I'll text you tomorrow to schedule another date. And remember, your face makes all the difference this month. So I'm super excited about it. I have everything ready for you. You know, and you just rebook it. Cut out all distractors. Cut out all distractors. Negative friends. Less TV. When someone says, hey, let's go to the mall. No. Eating out with your friends. You can eat out with your friends, but plan on it. Plan on it. Like maybe Friday at lunchtime, that's your day that you go out with your friends, because it is important to really work on those relationships and those friendships. You know, there's going to be many times in June that people are going to go to the beach, people are going to go to the zoo, people are going to be doing things with their kids, and you're going to be focusing on your goal. But I want you to focus on the feeling of having that goal accomplished, not on the feeling that you have right now. Because if we focused on a feeling, feelings don't pay your bills. Note to self. Feelings do not pay your bills. You should like memorize that. Okay, anytime you don't feel like picking up the phone or texting that person or going to that third party on a Saturday or doing that third interview with a new consultant, you want to do something else. Emotions don't pay your bills, okay? And that's why men do what they do, because they push through and they don't think of the emotion. So we've got to become more like business men, but having that soft heart, like Mary Kay said, she was that velvet hammer. She was soft, she was loving, but she was to the point. She acted like a businessman. Write out all the things that could deter you from your goal. This is important. Like, let's say you have all your appointments booked for the month and you have 3 kids. And I'm sorry, you have little kids, They're gonna get sick. You know, you're gonna have them all signed up for camp, but maybe one gets sick, something happens. You know what? You gotta have backup. You gotta have 3 people backup, not just mama and not just daddy, okay? Because things happen. And so when you're going for something big, you can't just rely on one babysitter or one nanny. You have to have backup. I have like 5 babysitters, okay? I have my nanny, I have my housekeeper, I have my mom, I have the other one, I have my assistant, I have 3 other babysitters behind that. So if something happens, I can go through the lineup, okay? So you've got to tell yourself what could happen that could fall through the cracks. It's not a negative thing. That's what smart people do. They're strategic. They plan on what's going to happen. You know, maybe your husband really expects warm meals on the plate every single night, and you're like, listen, you know, I have this huge goal. And I'm not going to be able to have warm dinner every single day, but on Sunday, I'm going to cook for the entire week and freeze it. Are you okay with warming that up? Or find a company to deliver. Or, you know, so just prep for those stressors because they're going to come. They're going to come. And so if you don't prep for it, it's not going to happen. Expect blessings to chase you down. Expect blessings to chase you down. When you expect blessings to chase you down, they will chase you down. If you think that things are going to be negative, they are. And I know you got to really train your brain. This is the most important part of your business. This 6 inches right here is training that brain. And that's why we're doing the Miracle Morning. You're hanging around positive people. You're in the Word. You're praying. But you're expecting that blessings are chasing you down. When you do that, it will happen. And when Satan comes, you just say, cancel, cancel, cancel. Get away, Satan. Not today. It's not happening. When you go through obstacles, it is not God saying to you, this is not for you. This is not for you. No, it's a test. You need to keep jumping over those obstacles and getting through it and do better. And of course, you're going to need mentorship along the way. You know, things are going to happen where you need a pick-me-up from your senior or your national or someone that you really highly respect. But you guys, I told you in my last case letter that the 4 people I hung around or spoke to or cared about what they thought was God, okay, my husband, my senior national, and my dad. Those were the only 4 people that I took any advice from. I didn't care what anybody else said, because you know what? If I'm not going to trade houses with you, bank accounts with you, cars with you, trips with you, lifestyle, I'm not listening to what you have to say. I'm sorry, I'm not. And so if we're not sharing the same values and it's not the life that I would trade places with, I'm not going to ask for your opinion. So stop asking for opinions from people that you wouldn't trade lives with. And it's very few and far between. It's a very small group. And so, you know, if you can have 3, 4, 5 people that you can rely on like that, that's good. You're fine. You'll be fine, okay? And last but not least, you guys, June. And I broke down what June is. J is for jam it out. Do more than you ever have before. And like I said, you're either finishing a huge goal or getting ramped up to do something big next month, because this June is setting you up for July. Everything you do in June is going to roll over into July. The 10 new consultants you bring in are going to be working up to move up in July. They're going to be the ones that can attend seminar. They're going to be your future Reds. You know, everything you're going to do in June is going to roll over into the summer, okay? And that's why it's got to be so big. Because in July and August, a lot of people vacation. So you've got to get so much built up in June that you've got so many people to work with to help them win in July and August, so that they're winning and they're reordering and there's that momentum rolling, okay? So again, you've got to plan for it. I got to really max out June, so I've got a lot of people to work with in July and August, okay? U is for unleash your inner potential. Unleash your inner potential. You've got potential. You've got stuff in there. You've got courage in there that you have not tapped into. So I want you to unleash yourself, okay, and go crazy and go wild and get excited. Letter N in June stands for narrow in your focus. Narrow in your focus. So again, I told you, pick one thing. Pick one thing we're focusing on, and I want you to just finish it. So whether it's raising up 1 DIQ, whether it is raising up 3 Reds or getting to 10 Reds, or focusing on $50,000 in production, or 10 new consultants, or 20 new consultants, or selling 100 charcoal masks, okay? If you sell 100 charcoal masks, that's $2,200. That's $1,100 in your pocket and $1,100 reorder. Do you know what $1,100 could do for you? What could $1,100 do for you today? Could it pay off that one last credit card? Could it pay for 4 camps for your kids for the summer? Could it take your family on a day or 2 vacation to get away? Who couldn't sell 100 charcoal masks? So I don't care if you're brand spanking new or you've been in for 20 years, do something that makes your stomach, makes you want to vomit, makes you want to hurl. I don't care. Okay, but narrow in your focus. And number E. Letter E, be electric and have energy. Everybody wants to buy from somebody and join with someone that's excited, that's electric. You guys light yourself on fire because people will come watch you burn, okay? That just came to my mind because I'm wearing red lipstick and red earrings. Light yourself on fire because people will come watch you burn. You're dead, you're blah, nobody wants to do anything with you, okay? You're excited, I don't care, get excited about something. Like I said, get excited about something. And you guys focus on the feeling of the accomplishment. Focus on the feeling of the accomplishment, not the feeling now, the feeling of the accomplishment. Okay, you guys, so focus on what it's going to feel like when you finish that 50,000 in wholesale production and you take your husband on that free trip of a lifetime and he turns to you and he says, thank you so much for working on this trip. You're the bomb. I love you. Thank you. Or, you know, maybe it's selling $5,000 retail so that you can profit $2,500 to take your family on, you know, a week's getaway during the summer that you haven't had for years. Or maybe it's that Louis Vuitton purse and you want to be a little selfish and you want to have that nice purse. So you want to sell $2,500 so you can buy yourself that nice purse. Or, you know, I don't know what it is, but focus on that so that you can really get over the feeling of not wanting to do it. And in closing, I found this verse that I absolutely love that I want you guys to meditate on every morning, and it's Joshua 1:9. Joshua 1:9 says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I'm going to say it again. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. You have nothing to be afraid. God is with you. A no is not going to kill you. Someone not buying from you is not going to kill you. Someone that says, no, this is not for me, is not going to kill you. This is not brain surgery, y'all. It is not brain surgery, I promise you. You know, they're going to say yes. You're going to have yeses in there, and you're going to have surprises along the way. It's going to be awesome. So I want you guys to meditate on that verse. And so I want to give you a few reminders in the homework. Okay, I just sent it to you. I forwarded you an email. And so anyway, so just a few reminders. So many of you were listening live, and I'd love for you to post what you took away from today and what cards you're going to pull out this month, you know, what you're focused on, what you learned from today. You can post it on the live chat or on the Google Hangout below, so I know what you took away. But next Wednesday at noon, we will be back here at noon again, and it will be recorded. But next Wednesday night, we're going to be having a live marketing event on Facebook that we're going to create this week. And we're going to create a invitation for you to use. So everybody that you facial this week, you're going to, if you haven't signed them already, because you don't need to wait, but any of those that are just kind of layering, you can invite them to that next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will do the marketing. And I can guarantee you that if they have been facialed and they are a B on the letter scale or a 6 on a scale from 1 to 10, I will get them to join your team. Okay, so our goal is to pack the house with guests next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that all of them? Yeah, okay. And yeah, so that's going to be really, really exciting. And so just know that we're going to finish on the 3rd week of June because we started in May. So there'll be 4 of these sessions, and I'll be having homework with you guys. And there's going to be one director that is going to earn a Kate Spade bag and 1 consultant. So we'll be tracking that, okay? So I'm going to give you guys your work, and we're going to email it to you, so no worries. And this is going to hold you accountable. So I want you to repeat every day the Joshua 1:9 verse to yourself 3 times. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So you're going to say that to yourself 3 times every day. Your other assignment is you're to get 10 solid parties on your books by June 5th. When you do that, you get 50 points. Number 2, communicate with your customers, team, and unit for your goals for June. Your promotions, your prizes, your giveaways. Consultants, you're going to be putting together your goals and promos for your customers. Directors, you're going to be putting together your flyers and your prizes and unit gatherings for your unit. And when you do that, you're going to get 25 points. Number 3, write out your goal for June, your action plan, evaluate your activity, what you're going to need, write out your distractors, systems in place, and share that with your mentor. You're going to get 20 points. Number 4, for every day that you have your miracle morning, which is your prayer, your affirmation, your visualization, your exercise, reading 10 pages in your leadership book, and visualization, you're going to get points. 5, for every interview you have this week, you're going to get 10 points. Number 7, for every new personal team member that you bring in, you're getting 50 points. For every party you have, you're getting points. For every day you step out in courage and warm chatter 5 people a day, get their name and number, you're going to get points. For every charcoal mask you sell this week, you're going to get points. And when you register for seminar, you're going to get points. So I'm going to send you out this accountability worksheet today. And if you haven't watched everything, please do. I hope that you gained a lot today. I hope that I've stretched you. I hope that I've stretched your belief, that I've stretched your courage, and that you believe that you can do anything and everything, because I know that you can. We need you. We need you to stretch. We need you to do double the activity in June for the company, for our areas, for your unit, and for yourself. So have a great day. Thank you guys for being with us.